again.
We're back. It's
Tips.
nuts. Yep, so many tips. This time it is the stuff you've been dying to hear. How to include your dog in your wedding. Yes, your dog is your baby. Yes, you love them so much and you can't wait to include them in the most important day. But what are you gonna do? How are you gonna do it? It's so overwhelming. The logistics, it's crazy.
We're here to tell you that it is possible.
It is.
It's going to be awesome. Don't worry. Don't be nervous. We got your back. I'm Kelly.
I'm Alana, and we're the founders of the wedding pet care industry. So,
let's get down to business. This is our business. That's why we're getting
let's get down to it. Let's go.
If you're watching this video, you probably clicked on it because you either know us. No, what am I saying?
You have a dog, maybe multiple. You're getting married. What the heck do you do now? You have the idea, you want them there. How? What are they gonna be doing all day? How are you going to include them in the day? What different roles can they have?
What does it mean
Yes.
to include your dog in your wedding?
You saw the cute Pinterest photo and you want it, but now what happens next? We
You
got
might be thinking your dog's too crazy. You might be thinking there's no way this is possible. We're here to tell you it is. And we have lots of fun ideas on how to actually include them in the day.
We started brainstorming on all the different ways that you can include your pet in your wedding and what we've seen in the last 6 years of taking dogs to weddings. And it was so much that we couldn't put it all into one list. So we have 10 awesome ideas on how you can include your dog in your wedding. This is part 1. So we're gonna give you 5 really great ideas and then make sure you stay tuned for the next video where we will share the next 5.
Yes. A lot of people think that if you're including your dog in your wedding, that automatically means that they're walking down the aisle, they're gonna be a part of the ceremony, they're the ring bearer, they're carrying the ring, something to that effect. That's amazing, and it is one of the one of the possum ways to include your dog in your wedding, but there are so many other options. Before we even get into this, what you're gonna wanna do to start is consider your pet's personality. Consider your dog's personality, what they like to do, what they're comfortable with, and then that's gonna help you decide how to actually incorporate them into your wedding day.
All right, let's get this thing going.
Exactly, let's get to it.
Possum, idea number 1, include them in your ceremony. The obvious choice.
The obvious choice, but we will break down some ideas of how to include them in your ceremony because it's a very broad topic and there's lots of different ways to include them. We've seen a lot of cool ideas over the years. Probably the most common is that someone from your bridal party walks your dog down the aisle, which is really awesome. If you go this route, we definitely recommend just thinking about someone that is comfortable with your dog, that your dog is comfortable with, or at least that is comfortable with dogs in general. We've also walked dogs down the aisle before, so if you're in that position and you don't have someone that you necessarily trust, or maybe your dog's super strong or something to that effect and you want to make sure that things go smoothly, we've walked dogs down the aisle. If you don't have a company like us, maybe you invite your dog walker or your pet sitter or something like that to come and just help out for the ceremony.
We've seen the bride or the groom walk down with their dog, which is so special and sweet when that happens. And then we've even had the dog go down alone. So if it's a space where you feel comfortable and there's not a lake right behind you and your dog's a lap, then your dog can actually run down the aisle and it's the sweetest. As long as it fits your dog's personality in the venue, it can be some of the sweetest moments ever because your dog is just running into your open arms at the end of the aisle. So special.
Yes. Sometimes when we coordinate that with a couple, we'll just like slip the groom a couple treats.
Exactly.
Or maybe we'll slip them a little squeaky toy, something to that effect. Just in case the pup gets too distracted down the aisle. But usually it's really sweet. Either the dog just like sees dad or sees mom at the end of the aisle and just books it, or maybe
they take a little detour and say hi to all their friends, and that's adorable too. We've also seen couples have their dogs be the ring bearer or the flower girl. So we usually recommend using fake rings, not the real ones.
Pro tip.
They're still dogs.
You don't need to give your dog your real, very expensive,
We got fake ones you can borrow for the day. We'll clip them on. You can do like a little ring pillow or on their collar. And then have your best man or somebody up there with the real deal pretend to take them off. Slip them in with the real deal. Nobody has to know.
A little sleight of hand.
No dogs are shaking and your rings are flying off a mountain. We're good.
So once your dog gets down the aisle, so you've gotten this far, your dog has now gotten down the aisle, now what? You still have a whole ceremony to do and you want your guests to be able to remain present. You don't want there to be any distractions during this intimate moment. So there's a couple options here once your dog actually gets down the aisle. You can have maybe someone from your bridal party hold them up there, and if they're being a good pup and enjoying themselves, and they stay up there for the whole ceremony. If you aren't sure if your dog will be able to stay up for the entire ceremony, maybe you're having a long ceremony, or maybe your dog is just easily distracted, or maybe they're a little vocal and you're wondering if they're going to make some noise during the ceremony, then you can maybe just have them step off to the side. So they walk down the aisle, and then you have someone there to step off to the side with them.
And then they can always meet you right back at the end of the aisle once the ceremony ends, so that you guys can see each other and have that special moment of congratulations. Everyone's really excited. And then you can go include them in all those photos after ceremony, but we'll get to that.
Yes. All right, let's move on.
All right.
Number 2.
Woo! Greeting your guests.
This is one of my favorite recommendations to give because a lot of people don't think of it. Mm-hmm. And anytime that I've been a part of a wedding and like had the dogs greet the guests as they arrive, it's always gone over so well. And I mean, just imagine being a guest and showing up to a wedding and being greeted by the couple's dog.
And I've only seen it at a couple recent weddings for the first time, but people have been getting custom signs made that will say like, thank you for joining us on our special day, please pet Cooper while you wait, or something. And they'll have a little sign, and we'll sit right at the end of the aisle so that guests can just come love on their dog while they're waiting for the ceremony to start. So yeah, as long as you're not planning on surprising everyone with your dog with the rings or anything like that down the aisle, it's a really fun way to let everyone interact. And also it helps your dog kind of get to see everybody, so that walk down the aisle is a little easier if you will be having them walk down the aisle, because they already got to say hi to all their friends.
And this could be an alternative if you think that the ceremony, actually walking down the aisle might be too much for them, or maybe you're just, a little nervous on how they'll actually do. And so this could be a cool alternative to that. So that way they're still basically a part of the ceremony, but they're not actually walking down the aisle. All right.
Number 3, including your dog in your photos. So this can be in general on top of all the other things, or like we talked about before, if your dog's a little too high energy, maybe anxious, and the other stuff isn't going to be a good fit, you can always just have them come by for some photos.
Obviously, if you want your dog there on your wedding day,
you better be getting those amazing photos.
Be getting the most perfect photos.
Yeah.
Chat with your photographer. Set aside a certain time during the day and the timeline to make sure that you're working in those photos with your pup. And then, just plan for them to come by at that time. So if you're doing a first look with your partner, that could be a really great opportunity, a really great time to get those photos. There's less distractions, and it's earlier on in the day, so that can be an awesome time to get those pictures. Of course, if you're not doing a first look, you can have them come by after the ceremony, get those beautiful formals after the ceremony. You're officially family, so it'll be fun to get some pictures at that time. And then there's, obviously other photo ops throughout the day. Maybe you want them in your bridal party pictures. We had a wedding not too long ago where they got the dog in college.
Yeah.
So their college roommates actually kind of helped raise the dog. So they got photos of the groom and, his roommates and the pup, because
they grew up together.
So there's other ways, there's other photo ops throughout the day.
But the big pro tip here is that you want to make sure that you coordinate this with your photographer.
Yes.
Because a big part of what we do, of course, is working with all your vendors. We'll give your photographers tips on working with animals if they haven't before. We're there to make sure, they're looking at the camera. We're behind your photographer making crazy noises. So again, if you can't hire a company like ours, totally understandable. Just make sure that you work that out with your photographer. They know your dog is coming and are comfortable working with dogs, and that you have someone that is designated to kind of help facilitate that process, because your photographer is trying to make sure that you guys are looking your best and everything's going according to plan. So you need someone else there to kind of make sure that your dog is a part of everything and looking good for pictures.
Yes. And again, maybe working with your photographer to find somewhere a little bit more private. Like I said, if you're doing a first look, that's great because there's less people around, but consider after the ceremony, there's, a lot of your guests are around. So maybe find somewhere that there's, not too many distractions, because you want your pup looking at the camera.
Exactly.
All right, great. That's tip number 3.
On to number 4. I can count on my fingers. I'm going to keep showing you. Having your dog come by while you're getting ready.
Again, one of my favorite ways that couples incorporate their pup into their wedding day.
For so many reasons.
Having them come by while you are finishing up getting ready is the perfect way to really ease into what is about to happen. It's about to really begin. You're maybe
Super
getting in your dress,
and
getting in your suit, you're feeling a little jittery, you're getting excited, and then your pup shows up.
Nothing better.
And reminds you exactly what this day is all about, instantly brings you to the present moment, and is right there for you.
It's the greatest.
Cuddles, kisses. You have your makeup artist maybe still there, so if there's a few licks on the face, maybe they can touch it up for you.
And the
you don't
other
have
part,
to worry.
for couples who are nervous about their dog being too high energy or excited, you can see your dog before you get into your wedding dress. Again, if you have someone like us there, you're fine no matter what. But if that is something you're worried about, of course, now you can get some of that excitement out. The first time they're seeing you on the wedding day isn't after you're already in your wedding dress. You can get that energy out, that love out, all the kisses. And then it's just really nice too, because now your dog is feeling much more comfortable. If you do have an anxious pup, it kind of helps them realize, oh, okay, this person that took me to the wedding, like, what is going on? Where am I? Oh, my parents are here. Everything is great. And I'm so happy. So it kind of mainly is for the love and just pure happiness that getting ready with your dog brings. But for anxious or high energy dogs, it also serves a really practical purpose for them.
Exactly, yes. Obviously, they don't know it's a wedding day. They don't really know what's going on. But being able to see you, there's a lot of moving parts on the wedding day. They can, a lot of dogs, they
pick up on that.
Yeah, exactly. They pick up on it. And so it's nice for them to be able to see you and, like Alana said, piece together the day and what it's all about.
And those photos, again, you get photos at this time too if your photographer's there, and it's like all the bridesmaids in their little PJs with your dog on the bed snuggling you guys, and they're really sweet photos.
A lot of times it's the most like genuine moments too, because you're not posing,
pressure's off.
Really. You're not like posing for photos, you're just honestly just excited
so
to see
genuine.
your pup. So it's a good tip. That's why we said
Number 5. Bye. 5. Oh, ooh. 5.
Does that make 10?
Kind of, but there's 10 in the end if you stick around for part 2. Mingling at cocktail hour. This is a really fun one. It kind of goes hand in hand with greeting guests, just this time it's after. So if your dog is super social or has a lot of friends and family there that have not seen them and are really excited to give them some pets, now is the time.
That is kind of the coolest part. I love when we're like mingling around at cocktail hour and someone who's never met the dog, they're like, I've only seen pictures online and now I finally get to meet. Because a lot of times, I mean, people that you love in your life, if they're not like coming over to your house, or if your dog is not the kind to like be going out with you everywhere, they may not have had the chance to actually meet your dog. So,
and we know you're posting about them on social media all the time, so your friends and family are like so pumped to meet your dog, and now they get to snuggle them and love on them while they're waiting at the bar line to get their drinks.
Yes.
And it's the greatest. And again, this is another good one for like super social dogs that have a lot of energy. And it's something that a lot of our clients don't think about and that we hear a lot is just, oh my gosh, like I knew I wanted my dog in my wedding and this is so special for everybody, but I didn't think about the fact that this truly is the best day ever for my dog because he gets to see all his favorite people in one place. Like how often is everyone that loves your dog in one place? It's very rare.
Unless you're having like dog birthday parties.
Yeah.
And really planning.
Yeah, so if you have those family members and friends that love your dog, like your dog is just in heaven. He's just getting he or she is getting nonstop pets all day long, so happy, wagging tail, like just this is the best day ever. And cocktail hour is such a great time when that is in full effect because the whole point for your dog is just to get loved on and have the best time.
And again, this comes back to considering your pet's personality.
Yes.
If you're worried that your dog doesn't do well in
crowded
situations, maybe cocktail hour is not the best idea. But like Alana said, if your pup is social and loves getting pets and knows a lot of the people that are attending your wedding, this is going to be,
they're going to thrive.
I promise, this is going to be a super, super cute idea. And it does not have to be for the whole cocktail hour. You can just have them be there for, 10, 15 minutes, something like that.
Exactly.
So, really cute idea.
Yeah, and with our Dog of Honor videography that we do, we take footage of your whole wedding day from your dog's point of view, and the cocktail hour is one of the sweetest times because you're just literally seeing your dog just so happy, wagging tail, and everyone just coming down, waiting in line to pet them.
Truly waiting in line.
It's so genuine and beautiful.
I love when I'm like making my way through cocktail hour and I can like see someone from a distance being like,
that a dog? Oh, I know that dog.
I'm like, don't worry, I'm coming to you.
Yeah, it's the best.
Those are probably the top 5, the most common ways to include your dog in your wedding, but we still have more for you.
We do. We have 5 more coming your way.
Even if you don't think that your dog can be physically present on your wedding day, there are still awesome ways to incorporate them. Sure. So if you like this video, please like, please subscribe, and please stay tuned for our next 5 tips in the next video.
Bye.
You can have maybe someone, again, from your there, like leash, blah, 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 blah.
And that doesn't even make sense, what you said.
Kind of, though. It's what I was going for. All right, let's get to it. I'm a weirdo today.
Let's do it. Just today?
Let's
Let's get down to business.
This is our business. It's your business, too, if you're watching.
You're part owner now. Welcome.
You don't get anything from it, though.
Mm-mm. You get some
content.
awesome tips. You like this content?
Subtle.
So fetch this.
Thanks, Mark, if you're watching.